There is the theory of the Mobius, a twist in the fabric of space where time becomes a loop. Time becomes a loop. Time becomes a loop. Time becomes a loop. Time becomes a loop.
Now the saga of it is chronic but hyperlexic youth with the schnoz that have been sniffing out bullshit from the truth, whose astute views usually refuse to produce fruit, convoluting past and future when
time becomes a loop.
Machine boy assembled in the boonies from devices lifted from the script of Goonies and a midlife crisis, swaddled him in mythology from the LDS that left his worthiness psychology a goddamn mess. So when the man baby finally scrabbled off the battle, pissy pants tattered, scared of his own shadow, he rationed all the babble they prattled, didn't matter, and scattered out to pasture, get splattered by the cattle, spent an inordinate proportion of his mortal coil toiling over other mammals' poop.
Where time becomes a loop.
Trying to rearrange the manger to alleviate the danger, but his chickens flew the coop.
Where time becomes a loop.
We accentuate our differences even between members of a homogenous group.
Where time becomes a loop.
Droopy noodle doofus aloofly doodled stupid cartoons out on the stoop.
Where time becomes a loop.
Simultaneously in the future he's an elderly adolescent, pumped full of Prozac and antidepressants. Real world problems that affect people he loves, but he's climbing into the ring to fight giants with kid gloves. Not enough when the time comes, bumbled the mission, stumbled into trouble in a war of attrition. So when the day of decision demanded quick intuition, all his wisdom wouldn't fix his indecisive disposition. Conditions tend to worsen as he hands over the reins to the face and then refuses to ever use all of his brains. Can't enjoy the vista cause of all the little stains, so he pisses vim and vinegar directly down the drain, spending an inordinate proportion of his mortal coil avoiding have to join it with the troop.
Where time becomes a loop.
Ends up vexed how he earns a paycheck just jumping through hoops.
Where time becomes a loop.
We accentuate our differences even between members of homogenous groups.
Where time becomes a loop.
Any intelligence reveals self-irrelevance, so his head tended to true.
Where time becomes a loop.
Meanwhile, back in the past, he's antique, with no idea which era's vernacular to speak. So it seems when his wave was way up at its peak, peeped a sequence full of people staring back at a freak. Eyes frequently leak and secretly stressed when the survival of the fittest made him sick in the chest. Wolves preach to sheep that slaughters for the best, so they never get to put their holy water to the test. Obsessed with enacting the exact chronology to encapsulate the knowledge and pass it to his progeny. Jotted down the scoop with a little red pen.
Where time becomes a loop.
And the pages don't end. We accentuate our differences even between members of a homogenous group.
Where time becomes a loop.
Artificial intelligence reveals self-irrelevance, so his head tended to droop.
Where time becomes a loop.
Spending an inordinate proportion of his mortal coil toiling over other mammals' poop.
Where time becomes a loop.
Droopy noodle doofus aloofly doodled stupid cartoons out on the stoop.
Where time becomes a loop.